Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin in crisis. What can we expect and what possibly could be the next move? Before we do that, we're going to smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people, and of course does help support the channel, as does your wonderful comments that you take the time to write. I take the time to read them and to respond. And of course, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button and you'll get these daily updates. So what can we expect when Bitcoin is in crisis? Well, we see here the S&P 500 gold and Bitcoin through major geopolitical events. And as you can see here, Bitcoin has done okay. You can see in the US-Iran escalation there, we see the differences between the S&P 500 gold and Bitcoin after 10 days and after 60 days. Of course, the 2020 drop in March, there after 10 days everything was down a fair bit, including the S&P 500. Gold was the least affected, but also is the least to also it dropped 9%, but after 60 days it was only back to 3%, where Bitcoin was 21% in the green. And so you can see through the different challenges that there has been with all the different the banking crisis, the yen carry trade unwinding, we have seen Bitcoin hold pretty steady. So Bitcoin in a crisis, even though there has been dips and drops, it has recovered every time. Within 60 days, it has been higher than it was before, which shows me that these dips and these situations that we get have been good times for buying. Now, and as you can see, Bitcoin has done quite well in crisis. Now, let's have a look at the Bitcoin price. Now, we talked about on Saturday and on Friday, and all week really, about the 9 EMA and the 20 EMA. And we saw what happened when Bitcoin dropped below the 9 EMA. It had quite a dip down. It retested, it rejected, and really fell down to that 100K level. And so it dropped, 112 down to 100K. So, about a 12% drop there. However, when we got back above, it really shot off. It really did shoot off. And then we've had all this conflict, and we see the red dot from the tribal trades indicator, or one indicator to rule them all that could have gotten you out of any of the trades that you were in. And then, of course, we do have now a green overnight. We do have a green triangle. So a little bit of a bullish reversal. We'll see how long. They're not as strong as an indicator for me, using this tribal trades indicator, signals indicator, as the red dot and the green dot, or the blue arrow, or the yellow. But they can be very helpful. You can see that the last time we had a green arrow actually worked out to be quite good. It caught the bottom of this wick down there, 102, and then it shot all the way up to 111. So we'll be watching to see how this green arrow, this is a bullish reversal indicator. If you want to learn more about how the indicator works or get access to the indicator, and some people have been telling me, how do I get access to the Tribal Trades indicator? Very simple, by joining the Tribal Trades Discord. There is a link below in the description of this video. You might need to click the more button that will pop out, and this will give you access to the Tribal Trades Discord. And once you're in the Tribal Trades Discord, you get access to all these amazing channels, okay, including the Tribal Trades Indicator channel. You click on there, and there are video tutorials, an online form, and a whole bunch of other step-by-step instructions and how to gain access to the Tribal Trades Indicator, okay? And of course, you have all these other wonderful channels, and then you've got the life-changing gains trading course. Lesson 8 was released just over the weekend, or released that. There is one new lesson at least coming out every week there for the life-changing gains trading course. If you'd like to learn how to get life-changing gains trading, this is the course for you. A whole bunch of other channels there. I won't go into it. I've done that on other videos, but that's how you would gain access there. Okay, so, and of course, just as an FYI, as a reminder, and if you're new watching this, the Tribal Trades Discord is an exclusive closed trading community. And so to get access to that, you would need to fill in the link below that you go into a short wait list. Usually within 24 hours, you'll get access. Now, we are closing off signups to the Tribal Trades Discord sometime this month. I will be announcing when that date will be. I'll give a few days notice for that. And then that what's closed off, it will go to a waiting list there, where if you do want to get access, you will have to go on the wait list, and then you'll have to wait your turn for somebody not to renew the subscription for you to gain access. Okay, so if you'd like immediate access, now is the time to do it. If you're thinking of doing it, and for less than a cup of coffee a day, you can get access to the Tribal Trades Discord and all the great channels, and of course the Tribal Trades Indicator. Okay, so as we can see here, the key that I had shared about was the 9 staying above the 20. And I said if Bitcoin price did not get back above 106,500, that we were likely to see this drop. Now, you saw what happened, that even for a moment when the 9 dropped below the 20 there, just for a short day or two, you look what happened to price. And this is huge to understand. Now, we do not want to see the 9 drop below the 20. I'll just show you what happens. We just don't want to see that happen, because here it is, there it is. This was what caused the complete capitulation in February. We saw, and of course, what we saw here was a high on the daily and then a lower high here. Then we saw the 9 go below the 20 here. And then what happened, we retested into this a few times, and then we just completely capitulated. Down we go. And of course, until the 9 crossed back but above. Now, we had a bit of a fake out again. Again, we didn't get above the Tribal Trades trend line here. And it wasn't until we properly broke above the 9 above the 20 there. There we go. And then off we went. And we have not been below the 9 until just recently there in early June, where we saw that big drop low. And then, of course, now we are dancing in the situation. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for, first of all, a close above the 9 EMA, a daily close above this level. Then I'll be looking for a daily open. Of course, it will open above the level if it closes above it, and a daily close, a daily open and a daily close above this level. That will start to move the 9 away from the 20 like we saw here, and of course alleviate fears of the 9 going below the 20. Now, of course, we have seen the Tribal Trades trend line, one line to rule them all, in this case 2 lines, because we have this first trend line in place from the 22nd of May top that we had there. And of course, we have come and tested it a few times and rejected. When we broke through it, we came back. And what did we test down here? We tested the Tribal Trades trend line all the way back from here as support. Absolutely brilliantly tagged it. Now, we have this other trend line here that has been in place actually a lot longer. We're going all the way back to the 7th of April from the breakout. So this trend line is a little bit longer and stronger, in my opinion, for that reason. And as you can see, it's been tagged 4 times, 4 days in a row. Now, we don't want to keep jamming against that line, because as you know, eventually those lines do get weakened and broken. But for now, that is sitting at about 105,700. So if we were to see a close below that, and then another daily open close below that 105,700, then I would almost say that this line will have crossed. Now, I did say that I thought that if on Sunday we saw price close below, that might be enough to bring the 9 below the 20. It wasn't enough. Now, if we do see a close below the 20 EMA, like we have on 4 consecutive days there, if we get a 5th consecutive day close, it'll be interesting to see when this crosses. It's really, you're just estimating. You see it close and you think this is coming. It's only going to be another day or two before that would cross the downside. So, of course, remember, while price is above the 9 EMA, then we are going to see the 9 move away from the 20, okay? While it is below the 9 EMA, we're going to see price move down and the 9 move closer to the 20 EMA, like we've seen here. It got below it started, you can see how it got above the 9 EMA, and the 9 EMA started to move away from the 20 and create that separation and that gap. Well, when it comes down and goes below, you see how it quickly begins to move. I would think that if we were to get a daily close below that for the next couple of days, it's going to be very close. It's either going to be touching or it's going to be below. So keep an eye, add the 9 EMA and the 20 EMA on your charts. Keep an eye on those levels. I want to just quickly check where the 50 EMA is as well on the chart, and that's got quite some distance there. And even obviously once the 9, if the 9 were to cross below the 50 EMA, this is now the price is going to start banging on that as resistance. Then what happens is the 20 crosses below the 50, and that's going to get out here, and then you find that situation, and you'll see that. And we won't go back in time, but of course, because we already went back, but you can check that out for yourself. Let's quickly look at some of our other metrics that we have been keeping track on, such as total 2, which has had also a little bit of a green arrow. It is getting stuck at the 20, but again, look what happens when the 9 crosses below the 20, bang, down it goes, okay? And of course, the tribal trades signals indicator would have gotten you out of your altcoins before that even happened. It saw it coming and would have gotten you out of those altcoins there, which is fantastic. And then of course we do have the green dot. Now, of course, if we can hold, if the price can hold at 1.17 trillion or even nicer above 1.18 trillion or above, then the 9 you can see is starting to curl and will come back. And when you see the 9 go back above the 20, look what happens to the altcoin. So keep an eye on that. Also on total 2, if you don't have that in a chart, just type in total 2, as you can see up here in the left hand corner, and that will bring your entire altcoin market, excluding Bitcoin there. And if you look at the whole market cap, that's including Bitcoin. And again, that would have gotten you out of everything with that wonderful red dot. Let's also have a look at USDT dominance, because that also was pumping. We did get a nice green dot, which means that's the time to get out of altcoins. This is the time to get into altcoins when you begin to see it drop. That means people are selling the USDT into altcoins. This means people are selling their altcoins and Bitcoins into USDT, and that's why you see the price pumping. Now, again, we have seen a little bit of reversal. Now, the red triangle is not as strong as the dot, but still can be a good reversal. As you can see here with this light blue and even this green arrow here, it gave us a little bit of a pump for a few days, not for long, and then it dropped and then it pumped. So just keep an eye on that. It seems to me that the possibility is that the market is pricing in that the conflict in the Middle East will be over sooner rather than later. And that's what seems to be what the market is doing. Now, if it doesn't come to pass, therefore, what can happen? Well, then I would expect we might find, because what you can see here is you can see a high and you can see a higher low there for USDT. Now, if we come down and create that lower low, then that's going to be very bullish for altcoins and Bitcoin. But if we come down and create a higher low and then create a higher high, that's not going to be good for Bitcoin and for altcoins. Remember, it's a reverse trade. So whenever you see USDT dominance bearish, that's going to be bullish for Bitcoin and altcoins, and vice versa. When you see it bullish and you see any bullish reversal signs from the tribal trades indicator, that actually is going to be bearish for altcoins and for Bitcoin. And we'll wrap it up here with just having a quick look at Bitcoin dominance here and just see what that is doing. I would expect that has given us a red dot. So that has been a good time to jump into altcoins, even if for a few days, 1, 2, 3 days of green for altcoins. And then again, when you see the green dot for Bitcoin dominance, that's a bullish reversal. That means it's better to be in Bitcoin and be out of altcoins. Right now, the trade is altcoins, but we'll see how long this lasts. It has broken below the 9. We want to see the reverse happen here. We want to see the 9 cross below the 20. Now, if the 9 can cross below the 20 for altcoins, that's going to be strong. Look what happened here. Again, when the 9 crossed below the 20, that was incredibly bullish for altcoins, and Bitcoin dominance collapsed all the way down to 62%. And again, the tribal trades indicator gave you the early heads up. If you had gotten in altcoins here, you wouldn't have had to wait till 3 days later when half of the move or a third of the move had already been put in. All right, so that's it. So watch the 9 and the 20. That's all we have time for today. As always, until the next episode, or of course, until I see you in the Discord, happy trading.